Good evening. Thank you, Sanjeev, for having me here. I'll probably start with two stories and then I'll go to the theory. So in a job like I am, we are usually parents. Actually, I'm a father just on the weekends, so that's the hard part. And you often try to, and when you have growing kids, you always want to prove that you are the smartest father they have. And when you have a 14-year-old son and a 4-year-old son, it's always a task to do and achieve every day. And I'm sure most of you will agree with me over here. So I'll tell you two theories which really work for me, and I'll tell you how it practically got impacted. So I have a 4-year-old son whose birthday is today, so he's really small. But he goes to the upper KG class, and thanks to ICSE curriculum, he's expected to know all the alphabets, and he should be able to write them. He's expected to know 1 to 20 numbers, and he's expected to write them without shaking the line. And I think it's quite hazardous for him to be expected to do that. And my wife was pulling her hairs one day and saying, look, he has his exam. I don't know how to get him to study. He just can't write. What will we do? He'll fail. And you know, this is a huge challenge at home to figure out. So I said, look, let's devise a program for him to be successful. And this is something we do in IBM. So I call this B2H theory, business to home. So I said we'll make combinations of 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, you know, and then 3, 4, 5, D, E, F as passwords, because he loves to get onto every iDevice at home and see Doraemon, you know. So for every week, and we had this planned for 12 weeks, if my calculation is correct, we made these combinations of password, and we said, look, you can only get into the iDevice when you know this password, okay? So he had to write, learn, and then type. Right? And he learned. 2.5 months, bingo, he's there. I don't know whether he'll pass or fail, but he's there. Worked. And my 14-year-old, one day I got a book for him, and this is more about home to business, H2B. And I told him, please read all the books I give you. And he was quite disciplined until he was not knowing the internet world, but yeah, of course, things happen. And one day he said, I asked him, I said, how many oceans are there in the world? He said, 5. And I said, no, there are 4. He said, no, there's 5. I said, no, Pacific, Arctic, Indian, I noted it down, Atlantic. And he said, there's a 5th one also called Antarctic Ocean. I said, come on, what's wrong with you? I said, in my geography, and I was good at it, there's no Antarctic Ocean. He said, Dad, let's Google. I said, no, you can't. And this also came out in the Antakshari we play at home with names of places and all, and you can put people in the loop of A, never ending. So I used to trap him there, but there he trapped me one day and he said, Antarctic Ocean, and you figure out. And when you have such argument at home, you know, the referee at home takes over and she says, let's go to Father Google because you're not good a father anymore. Let's go to Father Google and figure out. And imagine, I'm seeing my son and wife typing this, and I'm just shredding into pieces that I should be right, you know, the faint feeling to prove that I know all. And he types and duck, 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 everything comes out and says there is an Antarctic Ocean. Because the Britishers created geography, they ruled India, they called Indian Ocean, everything was Indian Ocean down below. But Americans and French wanted to sort of argue that, and they said, look, the Southern Ocean, if you define an ocean covering and continent is defined, it gets the name accordingly. So that's the dispute, and he proved me wrong. So I take this back to work, and I say, guys, and let me tell you, a lot of people, when I question this, a lot of people don't know there's an Antarctic Ocean, no matter where the theories come from. And I take this back to work because in our business, every day our customer is expecting new innovation. You know, Sanjeev's company comes from that similar background of telecom, where people are expecting innovative ideas. So unless you get your people charged up to know more than they know, you know, there's always a challenge. So practical life to theory. Thank you.